My high school friend group has officially cut me off and replaced me with the Joker. This is not like a simile or an allegory or an inference. No, I'm talking about the actual Joker. Like he killed like a shit ton of people in Gotham. He hangs out with the Riddler. He's friends with Penguin. Like actually, I don't know how. So I grew up in Oakland County, Michigan, which is not, it's not Detroit, but you can just tell people you're from Detroit. No one's gonna check you on it unless they're actually from Detroit. In which case, who cares? They're from Detroit. But about 4 years ago, I moved from Michigan. I moved from Michigan to Eugene, Oregon, and I try to visit Michigan once a year. See my friends, see my family, and I don't want to stay with my family. I usually stay with one of my friends. And about a week ago, I fly in, and we're gonna do a boys' trip to Cedar Point. And I didn't start doing stand up until after I had left Michigan, like 4 years ago. And I was like, yo, we should hit an open mic so I can show you guys my stuff. I can show you guys what I can do. And they were like, yeah, okay. And so we go to a bar, we go to an open mic. It's their first time at an open mic. And I'm used to just doing shows where the crowd loves me. Like all the clips you guys see, like everyone's like clapping and cheering. They usually fuck with my set heavy. We get there, and I have this joke in my set that usually kills about working at Home Depot. And the build up to lead into it, I go, I don't do stand up comedy full time. And some asshole in the crowd chimes in. He heckles me. He goes, "Thank God." And it got the loudest laugh of the night. Nobody laughed that hard at any joke any of the other comics told. Nobody laughed that hard at any of my jokes. And it it would have been fine if that was the only thing that happened. But he just sorry. But it just gave the patrons at the bar permission to continue. So they just kept interrupting my set. They just kept fucking heckling me. And it just got to the point where they just kept calling me gay. They just kept saying, "You're gay, you're gay." And I didn't know how to respond because I knew they meant it in an insulting manner, but I didn't want to enable them by perpetuating the stereotype that being gay is an insult. So I kind of just ignored it for the rest of my set, and it just got worse and worse. And then we go back to my friend's apartment that I'm staying at, and his apartment is set up. It has two bathrooms, and he has a bathroom in his bedroom, and his roommate has a bathroom in his bedroom. So the only way I can use the bathroom is by going through somebody's bedroom. And my friend, I drank a bunch of diet soda at the bar, and I kept having to pee. So I kept having to go into his bedroom and then go to the bathroom while he was asleep, and it was annoying him. And so the next day, he told me, he said, "All right, dude, you can't come into my bathroom a million times during the night or I didn't pee because it keeps waking me up and I don't want you coming in my bedroom while I'm asleep." And I'm like, all right, that's fair, whatever. So I didn't drink anything the whole day. I didn't drink any water. I didn't drink any Prime. I didn't drink any Sprite. And during the day, we're talking about how excited we are for this Cedar Point trip that we're going to have the following, I think it was 2 days. Yeah, it was 2 days after this day. And I was so excited to go to Cedar Point. And I was like, dude, like, let's go to another open mic, guys. Like, I can redeem myself. And they're like, no, no, we don't want to do that again. That sucked. And it was really embarrassing walking out of the bar with you because everyone was calling us gay. And I was like, first of all, I don't know why you'd be offended by that. Second of all, if I have the worst set of the night, I'll buy everyone pizza. And they were like, all right, deal. So what they didn't know is that I had an ace up my sleeve. Or should I say a joker? I'm going to write that down. That's a good joke. I did a set with the Joker. I had an internship in Gotham City a few years ago, and we did a show together. This was very early in my career, and from what I recalled at the time, he sucked. He was buns. It was all just like edge slap for like chuds that follow Ian Miles Chong on Twitter. And he'd be like, and for my next joke, I will, and then you just kill someone. It wasn't even fucking like it wasn't a joke. One time, his joke was flash banging and killing a dog. That was the whole joke. He flash banged a dog and killed it. And so I called him. I'm like, hey, dude, you got to come to this open mic tonight, dude. It's gonna be so awesome. And I hyped it up for him. He made the drive out, and he pulls up. And keep in mind, I haven't seen him do stand up in 3 years, but I couldn't imagine that he would be good at it. And we go in, the crowd, they recognize us from the night before. They call me gay a few times. I don't let it get to me. All I have to do is not be worse than the Joker. And then he goes up and he he fucking killed it, dude. He did such a good job. He kept doing this, and he said, "Yeah, I'm joking off." The crowd ate it up. They went crazy for it. They saw him walk in with me, and so they tried to call him gay. And then he said, "I look gay because of my makeup. What's your excuse?" The crowd was ballistic. And my friends are like, "Dude, this guy fucking rocks. We gotta hang out with him. This is so funny." And I'm like, he's just fake jerking off and calling people gay. Like, this is just a shittier Timmy No Breaks. Like, if you not Timmy No Breaks. This is like a shitty Timmy No Breaks. I actually like Timmy No Breaks, but it was like it sucked so bad because the guy I invited that we were gonna make fun of actually did a really good job. And so my friends insist that he comes back to the apartment that night and that I had to buy everyone pizza. So I bought everyone pizza, and I bought drinks, I bought sodas, I bought some primes and chips. And then later that night, my buddy says, everyone's left at this point, and my buddy, he says, "Hey man, just a heads up, I'm locking my bedroom door tonight. Use the bathroom before I do that, so that way you don't come in and out of my, out and in and out of my bedroom all night while I'm trying to fucking sleep. So just go use the bathroom, get it all out of your system." And I was like, all right, fine. And keep in mind, I haven't had a single drop to drink all day because I'm anticipating this bathroom situation. So I use the bathroom, I leave, and he locks his door. And then I get a little hungry, so I eat some watermelon. I eat some watermelon from his fridge. I end up eating half a watermelon, and I completely forgot that watermelon is like 99% water. I don't know how that slipped my mind. I don't know how that fun fact, whatever, dude. Um, so then I have to, you know, do my business. But I don't want to wake everyone up. So I take a couple of empty prime models, and this is a hack, by the way, you can use this. I stuff them full of paper towel, and then I do my business. And the paper towel acts like a silencer. You know what I mean? It's like, how like you ain't. I'm not gonna get in the nitty gritty. You know what I'm talking about. And so I do that, and I go to throw it out, and the trash can is full. So I set them down next to the trash can. I'm like, wait a minute, wouldn't it be really funny if I remind these guys of my awesome pranks? I don't know if you guys know, I was the funny friend when we were in high school. I was the bit guy. They called me the bit guy because I was always doing some hilarious bits. So I take the primes and I put them in the fridge, and I'm like, okay, the next day they're gonna crack into these primes, and then they're gonna drink them, and they're gonna be like, oh, what the hell? There's paper towels in this. So I go to bed, I wake up in the next morning, I didn't even think about the primes, okay? And I was like, oh no, please tell me they didn't drink it. I go into the living room, all my friends are there. The Joker's there. They invited the Joker. I don't know, they had such a good time with him the night before. They decided he fucking, I guess, needs to be invited to everything now. And the Joker's talking about how he's like, oh, like it's so nice to have friends that aren't committing crimes. I don't know, I guess he had some bad friends that were like getting him into trouble all the time. And my friends are like, hey, this guy's actually pretty cool, you know? And so I'm like, I'm gonna hit this guy with one of my classic pranks, you know? Because the whole goal of inviting him, I thought maybe he would razz my friends at the open mic, you know, maybe fire a warning shot or something. I don't know. He does a lot of stuff, dude. He does like he did this one thing where he infected like a whole room of people with laughing gas. He's anyway. So I go to the fridge and I grab some of these primes, and I'm like, "Hey, could I interest you in an ice cold prime?" And you know, one of my buddies is like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take that." And he drinks it. He's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Yeah, surprise! That has paper towel in it." And at first, he thought that was the whole prank. He like didn't understand that. He's like, "Okay, well, why is there paper towel in it?" I'm like, "It had to go in there so that way I didn't wake you guys up when I, you know." And he's like, "Oh, so this is full of pee." And I was like, "Yeah." And then he went, "Why is it sweet?" And I'm pretty sure that's a sign of diabetes, so I'm gonna look into that. But for the time being, they were not very happy with the fact they like got really mad at me for it, and they told me to just pack my shit and go to my parents' house. So I packed all my bags, I packed my sleeping bag, and I went to my fucking mom and dad's house. I get there, and then they tell me that I'm uninvited from the Cedar Point trip, and then they kick me from the group chat, and then they unfollowed me on Instagram. And the worst part is that they didn't even remove me as a follower on Instagram. Like, I'm not your fucking fan, dude. Oh, sorry. And at this point, I'm like kind of upset, you know. And then the worst part was that a day or two later, I go to stalk their Instagrams. I see they posted a bunch of pictures at the Cedar Point, and the fucking Joker was with them. They gave him my ticket. They gave him my Cedar Point ticket. And honestly, I just gotta say, the Joker, I invited him to my friend group, and he was willing to take my spot and go to Cedar Point with them. And all I have to say is, for that reason, I don't think he's a very good person.